I'm gonna show you how to do the jab in Muay Thai. Now when throwing the jab, right, there are 3 areas of concern. There's the execution of the jab, there's the rotation of our shoulders and our hips. All right, so for the execution, I've got the high guard position. Right, I'm gonna aim for the center line of my face, elbows point down, rotate my hand, grunt, and it's in line with my shoulder. Now the follow through, right, is now the return, right? Make sure you bring it back to your guard. Imagine you got a bottle of water in your hand, and then as you're extending your arm, you're pouring that water out on impact, right? Nothing too crazy like this, just keep it straight like this for now. Okay, when I turn the jab, you can see my chin is also protected there. Too often what I see in just their execution there is people flare out their elbow, and then they punch, or they punch and they hit. Right, they hit with these knuckles of their fingers as opposed to the one on their fist, right? The rotation of our shoulders and hips, right? So these two are gonna work simultaneously, but there's an additional role that the hip plays to land a solid jab. So when I'm throwing the jab, right, my lead side of my body, right, the side of the jab is going to rotate forward, right, and the rear side is gonna rotate back, right? So if you look at my hips, my shoulders are gonna work together at the same time. They're just doing this, right? And so the hand is really just an extension from our body when we're executing the jab. So I'm turning, boom, like that, boom. Just be mindful, another mistake people make is that they overdo this one. They go like this, right? And they mess up their posture here. Still stay solid, only do it just a touch. Another cue that could help you is have your hands glued to your head. And so when you rotate the right shoulder, it shouldn't be moving this too much. If it moves too much like this, that means you're probably pulling this one too hard. So just very lightly, right? Should only move just a little touch. Again, so important that when you're throwing this, you're also protected here. That's why we don't want this to move back too much. Now finally for the hips, right? As I said, they rotate, but they also stabilize you. So often when I see people do the jab, is that when they turn, they don't stabilize their hips. So they don't use this side to stabilize their body. So when they turn the hip, they end up shifting their hip that way, right? They end up shifting this way. So when you throw the jab, you're doing this, right? So often I see this. Sure, you're punching off center line here, but you're asking for a head kick. So when you rotate, be solid with your glutes, be solid with your legs to stabilize that hip there, to keep you centered. Look at yourself in the mirror and see if you're attending to all of those cues. Then rip out, right? Do 50 of those daily. Just hit a number, just get you practicing. Once you get comfortable hitting the jab stationary, now I want you to move, right? But don't move with the jab. I don't want you to step and jab. That's a stepping jab. I'm not doing that just yet. I want you to move, lock into a position, jab. Move forward, jab. Move to your right, jab, right? Move to your left, jab, back. Right, so still stay stationary when you throw the jab, but you can add some movement. That way you can start incorporating the stuff that we covered in the previous videos. Again, to recap, there are 3 areas of concern when we throw in the jab, and this will also apply when we throw the cross. Right, there's the execution of the jab, elbows point down, aim for the middle of your face, turn your fist over, grunt on impact, return back to your guard. Your rotation of the shoulder and your hips, right? Make sure you add a bit of rotation so you get a bit of a whip. You don't over rotate when you throw in the jab, just a little rotation to add a bit of a whip. So finally your hips, they're rotating, but they're also stabilizing, keeping you centered. So do not let it turn your body out to the side when you rotate. Rotate and stay centered. I hope you found some value with this video. Thank you for watching.